The Indian Navy with its Quad allies are gearing up to host the Malabar Navy Wargames in the Bay of Bengal. This time, a special focus will be on anti-submarine warfare, as Quad navies will practice tactics and strategies to counter the threat of Chinese surging submarine fleet. A source told Times of India, quote, Malabar exercise will witness complex surface, anti-air and anti-submarine warfare drills, along with joint maneuvers and advanced tactical exercises to hone war fighting skills, unquote. This as China flexes muscle with the world's largest naval fleet in the South China Sea and beyond, bullying its way to claiming the entire region, even beyond the imaginary 9-dash line. India now is spearheading the top-tier Malabar naval exercise with United States Navy, along with Japan and Australia, which will be held in October this year. The 28th edition of the Malabar military drills will take place off India's eastern seaboard in the Bay of Bengal, where Quad allies will showcase their advanced anti-submarine warfare capabilities. The exercise also counters China's narrative, as CCP has been trying to play down the unity within the Quad. India's announcement of the 28th Malabar exercise came alongside the meeting of ambassadors of Quad nations on the 9th of July this year. But guess where the Quad ambassadors met? Right at CCP's doorstep in Beijing, China's capital. After the meeting, the US ambassador to China wrote on X, quote, I had a productive meeting in Beijing with my Quad ambassadorial colleagues from India, Japan and Australia, close friends plus partners, all for the development, stability and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific, unquote. Indian Navy will certainly press its frontline warships into action along with P-8I maritime aircraft, the Poseidon, which is a trump card to track and hunt Chinese submarines lurking in the Indian Ocean. The naval exercise is aimed at further enhancing the military interoperability among the 4 Quad countries and will see no 5th country participate this year. Australia hosted the Malabar Navy drills off Sydney last year, while Japan had hosted the Quad Navy War Games in 2022. Amidst rapidly changing dynamics in the Indo-Pacific due to China's increasing strategic footprint, India is stepping up its military partnerships with United States and other Quad allies through bilateral and multilateral agreements. In case of any confrontation with China, India would depend on its Quad partners for logistics, intelligence, as well as active military support if needed. But can the Quad effectively counter China's aggression and expansionist ambitions? The geostrategic grouping aimed to contain China's expansionist threats and maintain a free and open international rules-based order. China in the past has rejected international rulings against its imaginary maritime claims, and Quad hopes China's territorial ambitions don't impede the largely peaceful global order since World War II. Remember, in June this year, after National Security Advisor Ajit Doval met US NSA Jake Sullivan in New Delhi, both sides expressed strong determination to host the Quad Leaders Summit in India before the end of this year. This year's Malabar exercise will help Indian Navy hone its anti-submarine warfare capabilities. China's expanding footprint is being seen not only in the South China Sea but also in the Indian Ocean region now, as Chinese submarines have often been tracked conducting undersea forays in this resource-rich region. Xi's PLA is also regularly sending warships to the region in the garb of anti-piracy operations. Even Chinese surveillance vessels have been regularly tracked by Indian Navy in Sri Lanka and Maldives. So is India equipped to detect and track Chinese underwater monsters? While India may not be at par with China currently in terms of the number of submarines in its arsenal, Indian Navy certainly is robust and more than capable in anti-submarine warfare capabilities. The successful test of the new long-range next-generation torpedo system known as the Supersonic Missile-Assisted Release of Torpedo or SMART took place on the 1st of May, rattling both China and Pakistan. Designed and developed indigenously by the DRDO, this torpedo has been synced with a supersonic missile. This enhances SMART torpedoes' range to 650 kilometers at a time when traditional torpedoes have a range of 40 to 50 kilometers. India's SMART weapon is a revolution in naval warfare, and any enemy submarine spotted in the region, in the entire Indian Ocean region, is now well within range. Meanwhile, Indian Navy has a fleet of 12 Boeing P-8 Poseidon aircraft that are capable of long-range maritime patrol with ASW capabilities. Popularly known as Submarine Hunter, these are a game-changer in the vast expanse of Indo-Pacific, where if 2 aircraft operate simultaneously, they can exchange information via a data link. Capable of flying at 41,000 feet high, the Poseidon can cover vast distances in quick time, track enemy submarines, and pass on the information to friendly warships. The Indian version of the P-8 Poseidon consists of 2 weapon stations on each wing and can carry 129 Sunu buoys, which are released into the water to locate a submarine and can be retrieved by a warship. According to reports, Indian Navy plans to have 22 of these Poseidon aircraft eventually. To enhance the anti-submarine capabilities even further, the Indian Navy commissioned its first of 24 MH-60R submarine hunter choppers earlier this year, procured from Quad partner USA. India-US defense deal was signed in 2020. These Seahawk can operate from both shore-based facilities as well as Navy's destroyers and frigates. They are fully equipped to track, target and destroy enemy ships or even submarines. As the fleets move, these helicopters patrol ahead to detect the submarine and accordingly direct the Navy warships. So is Indian Navy planning ahead of time to counter the advantages of Chinese submarines with a network of highly capable anti-submarine warfare platforms? The American hunter-killer MQ-9B Reaper drones will also add to this capability. They can be armed with Sunu buoys, Hellfire missiles and laser-guided small-diameter bombs. These will also come equipped with state-of-the-art surveillance equipment. With an eye on China, the Predator drones will be stationed on Tamil Nadu's INS Rajali to boost the Indian Navy's anti-piracy operations. Meanwhile, India also launched first 3 of 8 new warships specially designed for anti-submarine operations along the continental shelf or shallow waters near the coasts. They have been armed with indigenously designed sonars and electronic warfare capabilities, along with a host of torpedoes and missiles. The new ships INS Mahe, INS Malabar and INS Mangroon were launched by the Indian Navy at the Cochin shipyard in November last year. The big question remains, is Indian Navy and its Quad allies ready in case China decides to spark a major conflict in the Indo-Pacific region? Leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.